Page peel. I love the page peel. It's a little bit cheesy, but when used responsibly, it's just great. It's a special type of slide transition that simulates the turning of a page. It can be used for a full screen transition or for smaller objects. It's great for flat photos of a newspaper, and since most news is online now, I've also used it for screenshots from news websites. I've also used it a lot to show legal documents and photos, including this real petition, which, yes, I did add distressed paper and coffee stains to as a joke. Mythbusters uses this transition a lot to go to and from their animated blueprint segments, which show the myth they are going to test, or their plans for testing said myth, or their results after testing said myth. And because blueprints are printed on paper, the page peel transition works really well. I also saw them use the page peel multiple times in a row for a custom duct tape themed transition, which makes me so happy because I also used page peel transitions with some cutout duct tape photos, like so. One way you should never use the page peel is when transitioning in or out of something that has its own clear three-dimensionality. For example, I've never used it to transition in a whole book, because those have 3D volume, and it just looks wrong to visually run it over with a steamroller. So no motherboards, no boxes, no people, but Paper Mario is fair game. For full frame transitions, you do need to be careful about the frame edges. They should, ideally, line up with the page edges. Like, you could page peel in a piece of paper, then move and zoom around to look at parts of it with the motion effect, and then page peel back out. But because a transition can only use what's currently inside of the program monitor, now you've just implied that the page has been cut apart. See the problem? What happens to the rest of the page? Now, usually this does not matter, and I usually don't worry too much about it, but you do need to be aware of all the things that your transitions imply, so that you can make an informed choice about what transition to use and how to use it. If there is more page off in a certain direction, I'll page peel towards it, so that you don't see that that information is missing. Or you can get around this frame edges problem by using a page turn effect instead of a transition, because an effect will use the entire object even if parts of it are currently outside of the frame. However, I've never actually done this. Where to get them? Boris FX Continuum has a page turn effect that would work perfectly for this, and it works right inside of Premiere. Weirdly, it's only available as an effect, not a transition. Interestingly, you can use any other layer as the alternative back of the page, which I think is really cool. Also, it works inside of After Effects, where it has helpful on-screen controls. That's great. If you don't have that, you can still use After Effects' built-in CC page turn, but it functions in quite a different way. It's based on pulling a specific corner in a specific direction, which is a lot more fiddly, but it is fun to play with. Premiere Pro's default page peel and page turn are absolutely atrocious. You should never use them unless you are specifically making fun of Premiere Pro. NewBlue has a 3D page turn effect, and it's dreadful. Only 4 directions to choose from and no parameters that matter. The presets are pathetic, and there's a clear mistake on the reverse side of the page. But it's still better than Premiere's page peel, so 1 out of 5 stars. Pixeland's 3D 6-pack has a lot of page peel transitions, which are not bad. This one is more of a tube, which is kind of fun. Unfortunately, there's only one parameter, which controls the easing. I really don't like this dolly effect, so I'd never want to use it, but I do believe that there are always presets of all these transitions that don't have the dolly. There's also lots of other ridiculous transitions in here that I'm not even gonna bother talking about. You can see them. They're silly. Oh, but check it out, they actually have flip transitions in here, so that's where to get these from Pixeland. And Film Impact has the best page peel transition, with the most parameters, which, might I remind you, are all able to be animated with keyframes. But you won't need to. The only one where animation would be useful is the angle, but they already have a separate parameter that applies a constant animated change to the angle, which makes things even easier. Just set it and forget it, and it's easy to change the overall angle later. You can put the page peel between two clips, but I almost always use it just for the head or tail of a clip, for which I have two different presets. You just watched one chapter from a longer transitions tutorial, which you can also watch right now for free from the link below, or just click this little thingy on screen right now. The tutorial covers nearly every useful transition and every transitions vendor. I'll see you there.